Kevin Hassett, White House National Economic Council Director. Kevin, to get 4.3% growth is knowing that the government just shut down a month ago and was your thoughts about how that number got so high?
Well, it's not just that number, it's the number before it. And so since President Trump took over, we basically have had a couple of quarters in a row of 4% growth. And 4% growth, to put it in perspective, when President Trump and I came in 2017, we used to go on TV and say we're going to get 3% growth. And Barack Obama's people would tell us, oh, that's impossible. We got the new normal. It can only be 1% growth. But the reason that matters so much is it puts money in people's pockets, and it shows us that Americans are really, really optimistic about next year. So if Americans come out and they consume more and we have the best Black Friday ever and all that kind of stuff, what it means is that they're not worried about what's going to happen to them in January or February because of a democratic economy. They don't worry that they're going to lose their jobs and stop spending money because they see the strength, the golden age that's coming because of President Trump's policies. And finally, I just want to add one thing, that when President Trump came in 2017, he told the American people that they were losing their jobs because China was dumping so many goods into the U.S. And 22% of our imports back then were from China. He's cut it all the way to 9% with these tariffs, and 1.6% of the growth this quarter came from reduction in the trade deficit, which creates more.
To the polls, Americans are not feeling it. Take a look at Gallup. Right now, nearly half of U.S. adults describe the current economic conditions as poor, 47%. November, they were asked the same question, 40%. So we know the numbers, and you feel good, and anyone looking at this, the market feels good. The stock market's reacted. How do you get the American people to feel as optimistic?
Well, first of all, they voted President Trump in because they knew how terrible the Biden economy was. The typical American family lost $3,000 a year because of inflation. And if you're going to buy a new home, then your mortgage payment in 1 year went up by $14,000 under Joe Biden. And so we're fixing all of that. But still, there's a little bit of room to go. The bottom line, though, is when people are really, really anxious about their future, then they stop spending money, they start saving, worried about the future. And we're seeing the opposite. And so finally, we looked at Bloomberg surveyed 62 economists to see what they thought the number would be, and 61 came in way below this, on average more than 1%. And so what's going on is, in the left-leaning media, people are saying, oh, the economy's terrible, the economy's terrible. They're listening to people like Senator Schumer, and normal Americans are going to the store and feeling, oh, I'm okay. And look, GDP 4.3%, that's almost 2 quarters in a row. That's almost historically good.
So, Kevin, as you know, the Fed chair's that seat's going to be filled. You're a finalist to fill it. The president's made it clear in his posts that he expects the next Fed chair to cut interest rates. Will you guarantee him that before you took the job? In fact, he said, reason whatsoever. Knowing that going in, and you're a finalist, you've interviewed for the job multiple times, what will you do?
Look, I've talked to President Trump many, many days, almost every day, about the economy and about monetary policy. And his main point is that if you grow the economy, if you increase supply, you create factories, you get $18 trillion of money coming into the U.S., that it's not inflationary. Because if you got a lot more supply, then prices go down. What Joe Biden did is he threw money at the economy, especially at government. And when you spend lots and lots of money on government and you have the Fed print money for that, then you get inflation. And President Trump understands that if you got a supply side boom, then the Fed doesn't have to hike rates when it sees good growth numbers like we saw today. And like proof of it is we just saw 1.6% core inflation last week. And so inflation is down, growth is up. That's what happened the first time President Trump was in office, and that's what's happening again.
So you didn't say no. So you might, if you get that Fed chair job, cutting rates is happening. I got to give you credit. I watch you on all the channels. Whether the numbers are good or bad, you're out there answering all the questions. I just think that people in your position have to have the guts to do what you do on a regular basis. And today it's a good one.
Thank you. So
the
kind.
Numbers are positive, so it's fun. Sometimes the numbers aren't, and it isn't, but you still go up there and you fight.
Right. Kevin, we were there during COVID. We had a minus 32% quarter at one point, and I was on TV every day.
Yeah, they brought you back for that. Kevin Hassett, thank you so much.
Hey, Sean Hannity here. Hey, click here to subscribe to Fox News YouTube page and catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis. You will not get it anywhere else.